Forget about the financial crisis, a debt meltdown, and derivatives. If you ignore all of that, you still have four shocks that are occurring right now today, and I want to bring those to you. You need to be aware of this so that we can not only identify the problem, but we can thrive, we can prosper as a result of this. I think it's important everybody pay close attention. Let's begin. The first thing I want to talk about is a slowdown that's been going on. It's pretty clear. You've got food inflation still high around the world. Wherever you are, you've been seeing this. In Europe, it's been crazy, but just look anywhere. United States, Canada, Australia, everybody's experiencing this. Energy costs, food costs, housing costs, you know the deal. That's inflation you can't get away from in most cases unless you are completely off the grid and so on, which very few people, too few people are. And I think it's important that we realize inflation can't be resolved by central banks because their only policy is what? Is inflation. They print money to quote unquote resolve an issue, and it never happens. Wow. Should we be surprised then? US business activity nears standstill in September, and I'll show you the charts associated. You could look at the PMIs, and this is called the Purchasing Managers Index, and basically all we're looking at is manufacturing and services when we look at PMIs. And this is a really good indication of what's happening in the economy broadly. We could look at that in the Eurozone, that's this. You could look at that in the United States, and it shows the exact same thing. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody because the world generally moves in sync with each other. While there are variations, this is the case. And here we are looking at that declining. Same situation, forward looking PMI components in the UK. It's looking actually really bad right now at this time. Okay, so we have this. That's the problem. Okay, we realize that there is a slowdown. Why is this happening? It's interest rates, it's inflation rates, it's people that are tapped out $1 trillion of debt in their credit card at 22+% interest. Yeah, we get it. Okay. But now we have these four shocks, and these are going on right now today. By the way, in addition to the derivatives, the debt, all that insanity that I talk about all the time, let's discuss these four things right now. And you could see the US economy could withstand one shock, but four at once. A year of surprisingly strong growth is about to be tested by a strike, the possibility of a government shutdown, student loans, and oil prices. We'll break that down one at a time. Of course, you have the strike. There's not just one strike. They're talking about the United Auto Workers. Yes, that's big. Employs a lot of people. There's a lot surrounding that. As a result, more inflation because they're going to pass that price, the costs associated with this down to the consumer. That's a whole different story. You've got the fact that there are many different companies and, these groups that are going to say, we are going to go on strike, just like UPS, just like others. They're doing this. And so they want higher pay. I understand. I would want higher pay too. I would request it if I could, certainly. And so that means that they are going to, in fact, get paid more in most cases when they do strike. This slows down the economy temporarily, depending on how long they go on strike for, and then they get paid higher. Usually what happens as a result of that is that there are increased costs, increase the input costs, and you have to spend more money as a result when you're the consumer. That's the way it goes. That's the stats and the data that I have seen. All right, that's just the data. The possibility of a government shutdown, you know what? That's the least likely out of all these things because the government shutdown never really happens. They just stall it. Okay, we're going to push it into next year. We were talking about this before, and then they just pushed it ahead. We forget about it, and then it comes back in the news. Oh, here we go, the new shutdown. If they do shut down, there's not really a problem because it doesn't seem to, anything they want to really spend money on, they do, and they just cut from the future and so on. Never a good thing, but we shouldn't expect anything from government officials to begin with. Student loans, you probably know already, but what we're experiencing right now is that after 3 years of them not having to pay these back, that has to happen right now, and that is on average $400 plus per month, depending on what kind of debt these people have. So that's $400 per month, not going to the other expenses that have to be paid. You cannot default on your student loans. And so right now we are seeing that at a level of $1.7 trillion. Do you not think that's a big problem? That is a huge problem, of course. At the same time, oil prices, Saudi Arabia has cut, and many other factors, speculation and so on, have pushed the prices of oil past $90 a barrel. Many say it's going to go not just beyond $100 a barrel, but $150 a barrel. That would put a stranglehold on the economy. These are the 4 shocks. What do you think about these? Is the government shutdown really going to happen? I mean, I want to know what you think. We got to also discuss what people are doing about this. I think that's really important. What you can do, the actions you can take. But let me show you some other stuff. You could see city by city what's going on. And you're having the this article right here on Wall Street Journal, watching the real estate bust from the streets of San Francisco. I know that you have seen before so many things. I mean, cities' new landmarks are struggling, office buildings and a shopping mall losing tenants. Many examples of this all over the place. I don't like to see it. It is unfortunate, but San Francisco is not the only place. New Jersey's American Dream Mega Mall is once again sinking in debt. Developers hired restructuring lawyers and financial advisors. Come on, you're not going to resolve this. This is the same situation. Sluggish traffic, not getting enough people in the door. And you might think to yourself, wait a minute, this is a big business. They've got the stores. They've got anchor stores. They've got people coming in. Whenever I go, there's all this money coming in. No. It's all based around debt. You buy this mall and you think it's bought? No. You have just like any piece of real estate, they have a small percentage. They control the whole thing, but they only really own a small percentage of that. And it's all financed by debt. That debt is not 30-year debt. That's not 25-year debt. This is only a couple years in many cases. And so when you're borrowing up here now and your income's not generating the way it was before, you are going to get crushed. And that's what's happening in this case here, but for others as well. Office and retail, stay away. That's my message to you, okay? I would tell my friends and family the same thing. Don't touch office, don't touch retail unless you want that contrarian bet. That's a big contrarian bet, okay? That's my message. Here we have it. Economic, just really quickly want to show you that trouble ahead. Container shipping rates are sinking further into the red. This is good if you want to ship, right? Hey, lower cost, that's great. But what does it signal? Yes, that's right. Of course, they say trans-Pacific spot rates have fallen by double digits over the past month. And it just gives us an idea of the demand. Less demand. That means, of course, you've got less products coming in. Not a good sign, okay? So we're pulling this out of the PMIs, manufacturing, imports, exports. You're looking at the freight. That's another factor. At the same time, you've got the consumer being hit by the 1-2 punch of credit card debt, of student loan debt. This is unbelievable. And the threat of everything being shut down, a lot of the workers with their strikes and their unions and so on, at the same time, the government, this is big. This really is big. Now, I've been talking fast. I've been talking a lot, but you see what's going on here? There's more in that, and that is robots from China don't strike. And so I think the result of all of this is that these companies are going to implement as many robots, AI, and automation as they possibly can. Speaking of which, here's just a couple examples how big tech AI models nailed forecasts for Hurricane Lee a week in advance. I don't know about you, but the forecast, whenever I look at it, it is almost 100% wrong. Okay? I'm like, all right, what's the weather right now? Let me see. Oh, it's not raining. I walk outside my house. It's raining. You can't even get it right now. You can't even get it right now. Forget about a week in advance. So these AI models, that could potentially put the whole weatherman job completely out of it. And think about all of the other jobs that are associated with that, right? A lot of that could be done all autonomously. All right. It fills in the websites with the information, the TV stations when you're watching, it's got the weather on the news. That could be done automatically where the data is just automatically coming in and it's going up on the screen. No intervention, no humans needed. So there's tech jobs that could be lost as a result of it, or maybe you could argue that moves from one type of tech job into the AI tech job. Anyway, point is, there's a lot going on. This is just showing you the self-driving taxis causing a massive traffic jam in Texas. I thought this was funny. You could see they're having some issues, and that's just a little bit of humor I wanted to throw in there. And as we look at this, I couldn't even believe it, but the bizarre new frontier for cell-cultivated meat, lion burgers, tiger steaks, and mammoth meatballs. What? Are you kidding me? Yes. Well, if they have the cells, this is a mammoth meatball, by the way. Yep. You heard me right. Made from the DNA of a mammoth. That's what's going on today. And that to me is worrisome for so many different things, but I'm just trying to show you that the world is changing. Please understand this. Know that this is not going to change in an instant. What can you do? What are the actions you can take? Well, I think it's pretty obvious that there are steps that we can move in the right direction. I cover this at the end of every video. If you appreciate this section, what can I do? Hit that thumbs up button. When you do, you're supporting the channel, but also notifying others out there that this is a good video. So that does help a lot. Trust me, okay? Renegotiate all the debt that you have. Banks know what's going on now. They know a lot of people are going to be defaulting on their debt. And so if you go to these companies right now and say, look, I can't afford this. I know you want me to pay $1,000 of debt or $10,000, whatever the case is. I do not have that. And I believe you got to prove that. You say, look, I can offer you X amount. Will you take that? And you can actually do a deal based on that. People are unaware of this, but there are so many big time people that you've heard of, successful people that do this all the time. They might have to claim bankruptcy and they basically say, look, here's the story. We can only pay you 25 cents on the dollar. And that company says, the lender says, okay, we'll take 25 cents because they know that through bankruptcy, they don't have to pay anything. So you can use that as a bargaining chip, essentially. I think people should just make more money. I think people should try their best. But regardless, you should be renegotiating your debt if you are in those circumstances where it's like dire straits, last line of defense. Talk to all your providers, everything, your internet, your cell phone, your insurance. Do it. Stop waiting around. This is real. You can get this done. Ask for a promotion right now. Do you have any promotions? What are the sales you have right now? We're coming into that time of the year where there will be a lot of promotions, and that is the time to do it. Renegotiate that. Ask for financial hardship. Hey, look, I can't pay my bills. I'm having problems. What can you do for me? Send me over to your loyalty department. Send me over to that, whatever the retentions department. Get me over to them. I need some assistance. I'm having these troubles. Here's the reasons why. They will do this. I was able to, and by the way, with your insurance, you might be dealing with an insurance company when you should be dealing with a broker, because a lot of times that broker is going to shop around for you. They're going to get you the best rate. When I have my business insurance, they quoted me a price. I went back to them. I said, that price is way too high. No, I don't like that. They said, okay, we're going to do some more digging. The rate they gave me was 50% lower. 50% lower, all by asking. But if you're not asking, you're not going to get anywhere, or people just complain. No, that's not how to do it. You've got to seek out the right information, the right people, the right resources. You can't just complain to the company. Maybe the company, the guy is not able to give you what you need. So you move to the next thing. And you've got to take those actions right now today. It is so absolutely essential. Don't just sit there. You've got to take action. It's extremely important. The absolute first step that you've got to take is go over to themoneygps.com. On this website, you're going to be able to do your financial audit. You're going to be able to figure out your own personal situation with Compass. It's totally free. So you go there, themoneygps.com, do that. It takes like 20 minutes to run through the entire thing. And I see Too many people that are sitting back and they are not taking that action. Very big mistake. Go to themoneygps.com. I've made this free for you for a reason, okay? Take a look at it. And of course, the comment of the day. Thank you very much, Ron. I was talking to a friend whose student loan is coming due and they couldn't afford the $650 a month payment, which will be restarting, and requested a lower payment. Good news, it was lowered to $600. They are totally screwed. Now, while that is obviously an issue for people, I think it's important to just understand that, yeah, you can renegotiate your debt, okay? And you should be doing that wherever you can. I want to thank you for that comment. I want to thank you for all of your comments out there. Let's share. Let's talk about what we are doing. I'm building right now. I'm working on this where we're building the case studies, which are going to apply to people in these circumstances, what actual people have done. And I hope that will be something that you find valuable. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.